And we're back, folks, to another episode of the MVM Show. I'm Titus, your host, with Thomas, in person.
Live.
No more over the phone for today. And anyways, we are going to talk about a topic that we both feel like we kind of talk about a lot. But at the same time, I don't think we've done a specific episode locked in for this only. And I think this will take a little bit. We're not going to make this too long. But anyways, I want to preface this by, Thomas can do his own prefacing if he wants to, is we're not doing this to, first off, you've seen the title. If you clicked on it, you know we're doing this about etiquette. And there's going to be a lot of things in etiquette that I've wrote down. He's wrote down that things that when people talk about etiquette for duck hunting, they don't, or hunting in general, fishing, hunting, whatever, outdoors, that they don't always bring up. Some things, I guess it's one of those things, if it gets your goat, it's probably because you've done it. And also I wanted to preface this by saying I've done some of these things and I've learned from them and I try to do better and I still make mistakes. So we all make mistakes. Sometimes we just don't think, sometimes whatever, we're tired, sometimes we don't know. It's lack of knowledge and lack of experience. So that being said, I'm not going to sit here and cover for myself and make excuses the whole episode and like, we're not really trying to hurt anybody's feelings. If it hurts your feelings, it hurts your feelings. I'm sorry. I just can't help that. Because I already just said right now that I've done these things. And I'm sure people wanted to knock me out before. And I'm sure I'm going to do stuff. In fact, I'll bring something up of myself here in a little bit. Something Thomas wrote down to add to the list that I already had on etiquette. I'll bring something up that was actually not that long ago that they had a point on. Someone in the comments, they had a good point on, which people watching videos don't really know timelines. So, but anyways, it's a good point to bring up. So, without further ado, we are going to talk about etiquette today. What would you like to start with, Thomas?
I want to start off the stuff you wrote down.
Okay. Well,
I think that's
that very first one.
That's a good
Starter.
Yeah. Go ahead. You start the first one. I'll chime in.
Okay. Did you copy and paste everything and put it in one? No, you added.
No,
Okay, so
I
I'll
just
bounce over.
Added some of mine that I thought of on the way home from work.
Okay. And you guys, okay, let me say this before we get rolling here because I'm copying and pasting some stuff. But you guys that listen or watch on the YouTube channel, because if you have Prime, I think I can turn YouTube on and listen to podcasts and close my phone still. But I guess if you don't have, it's not Prime, what is it called? Premium. You can't do that, I guess. I guess you got to leave your screen on. So I know there's still a lot of you, and it's growing fast. But what I want to say is please subscribe to the channel. Even if you don't listen or watch on there, subscribe. Just get us to that 1,000 mark. Once we do, you can do whatever you want. You can unsubscribe if that's not the platform you choose on. But we are so close. I think we're less than 60 away to hit 1,000. So it'll be nice because I can actually start making money on that platform. Because we have some, if you listen, some of you guys listen on Spotify, there'll be a few right before the podcast, but we don't really make nothing for this. So it would just kind of help with the gear because I put all my own money in this to kind of help pay back for all that, just so we can have the good audio and stuff. So I did want to throw that in because I keep forgetting to say that. Also, if you want to listen to some other podcasts, check out Duck Gun Podcast, Outdoor Limits Podcast, and Matt, you're going to kill me, which I don't think Matt listens to this podcast. He's always pumping Duck Gun Podcast.
He's just out in the sand hills somewhere, just roaming free.
So we're going to find out if Matt comes back. This will be the test. I used to do this with Ben Page, his buddy, when he had the podcast that Matt now runs. What is the name of that thing? And I listened to it, so you can't accuse me just because I don't remember the name right now. But it is, and I'll give that to you. Oh, the Foul Front Podcast. Foul Front Waterfowl Podcast. It's really good. Matt's a great guy. He's a friend. I'm just giving him a hard time. But this is going to be a test, though. So now,
before we start,
yeah,
how many hours of sleep are you running on right now?
Actually,
over the last
in a matter of 3 not very many. Why can you tell? Hey, and we did heavy bench on Monday. Heavy deadlift.
Quote unquote.
Well, for us right now. in the stage that we're in. I know we got some power lifters listening to this,
Yeah.
some weightlifters.
Trying to squeak out a little bit of something before the season starts, and we pretty much can only think about hunting.
Yeah, because we're about to go cardio and get our wind. Not necessarily.
Once September hits, the gym just doesn't look as fun as it did all spring and summer.
I know.
I love, after hunting season, I love getting back into the gym, but man, once fall is like starting to get close, it's just priorities start shifting.
Thinking of some other things.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? And it didn't used to be that way with us. When we were really heavy, like trying to do stuff right as you're starting, I feel like we were still pretty hardcore. But I think the longer we duck hunt, the worse we get. I feel like.
I think hunting in general, I just want to hunt more than I used to, because before I was more focused on just other stuff.
Well, your job too,
yeah.
your positioning wherever you were, you couldn't
my job,
just run off.
Stuff like that. I didn't have most of the stuff I needed to go. Like, and I'm mostly duck hunting, but also like big game stuff too.
Yeah.
And just.
That's true. You've been talking about going more, and you already are this year. You and Dad are.
Yeah.
Are you going to video that?
I'd like to. Yeah, I'd like to. I actually videoed that deer hunt last year. The reason I didn't really talk to you very much about trying to make a video on it is just because the way I
haven't even looked at that footage.
the way the kill shot happened, and it wasn't that there was nothing wrong with it. It's just we didn't have time to really set the camera up, and it was actually a pretty far shot. It was a 633 yard shot. And so the camera we had, it probably wouldn't have got the best. It would probably have been fine if we had time.
Yeah.
But we just didn't have the time. So
yeah. Dude, you need to get one of those Mac views.
Yeah.
Not that.
I know. I've been thinking about
how much are they?
The only
like
thing only thing about that is, so for whoever that cares about big game hunting, we're going archery elk hunting in September. And the only thing about that is, for a mag view, I would probably get that for my spotting scope, and I don't know if I really want to lug that around.
Is it that big?
All the time.
Oh, your spotting scope?
Yeah.
You don't want to lug that around?
Yeah. I mean,
well, just get it for the phone.
I could.
I guess that won't work that good for the phone, though, huh?
No, that's for the phone. It's for your phone.
Well, I'm sorry. I meant the binoculars would work okay, though.
Yeah, they do actually make a binocular one. And I have thought about that. They're not actually too expensive, but I don't know if I would want to buy both of them. But
wait, though, you're going archery, though.
That's what I'm saying.
So it won't even matter.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to take my spotting scope with me, but when we hike in, we're going basically living out of our backpacks for maybe 3 to 4 days at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just don't know if I really want to lug around I got man, I don't even remember the size of my spotter, but it's heavy. It's not a small spotter. It's like, I think it's a 60 or 80 power. Like, I don't even remember the objective on it right now. I would.
When did you get that one?
Same time you bought yours, so that was.
We don't have the same one.
We don't have the same one.
You got a better one.
A different one.
Oh.
Different brand.
Did I tell you about mine?
Yeah.
It has some weird.
It broke or something.
Focus ring. No, I've never even taken it out. It's like the focus ring or something's weird on it.
Yeah.
Trout.
They
I
can.
can't believe you haven't sent that.
I can't believe you haven't either, because they'll replace it. They'll replace that.
I guess maybe I need someone else to look at it, like Barney or something. That like, is this normal? Because it can't be. I mean, you look through it, and
if it doesn't get clear, then it's not normal.
Yeah. Okay.
I had another set of binoculars, binoculars, not spotter, that did that.
Really?
And they replaced it. Just like
from
not from that manufacturer.
Oh, that's loophole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Loophole. I already say it. Whatever. No, well, I mean,
but no, I would like to. I thought about it.
Here's the thing: since you are doing archery, Dad's not half bad at videoing. I've seen him stuff he's got, so maybe if you can trust him to.
Yeah, I've thought about
anything,
carrying a GoPro. But just like carrying it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
To vlog with it and stuff.
Like vlog style.
Buy a 10.
Because even
only $400.
Because Dad could hold it even if we were set up.
Mm-hmm.
and you'd get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I guess we'll wait and see if you do that. That'd be kind of cool to throw on the channel. But I wanted to say something about the guys for the YouTube. Yeah, just go subscribe to the MVM Show YouTube channel. Get us that 1,000 mark, and then we can start.
did you say how many hours of sleep you're running on, or did I
No.
miss that?
I just said
You just brushed it right off.
Much.
You just brushed it right off.
Actually, it's not as bad. It's just after tonight, I'm going to be slammed. That's where I'm going to go downhill. The problem is, dude, like this morning, I went to bed. I actually didn't get in bed too late this morning. It was, what time was it? Let's see here. Landed. Oh, maybe it was 4 o'clock. Or was it 3? I can't remember. But I wake up. It don't matter, dude, what time I go to bed. I wake up at 7:30. That's not even normal, though. If I'm not working, I'll wake up at like 6:37. But for some reason, you think you're exhausted. You think you went. But the light, dude.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
I don't wake up that early yet.
But is your room dark, though?
I wouldn't. It's not blacked out. It's fairly dark. Like
See,
we have the vinyl shutters, and they help. There's some light that gets through, but it's
go
fairly
look
dark.
in there and tell me if it's dark enough for you. It's I don't know. It's annoying. Trust me. When I'm real tired, I'll lay there, and then I just lay there. I can't go back to sleep, so it's like forget it.
Mhm.
But what happens is, like right now, I'm starting to get like I'm feeling it,
Yeah.
and I know I gotta go all night.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't got
It
much.
don't really matter what time I go to sleep. I'm usually
You get up
no
too,
later,
though, dude.
No later than 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I've seen you work. You'll be on your call weeks, and you'll go to bed right at sunrise, and you're like sometimes you're up at 9, and I'm like I'm surprised you're up already too, but I guess you just can't. What helps is just try to take a nap later, but a lot of times you can't, like today for instance. But anyways, well I guess let's go ahead and get started. I keep feeling like I'm bouncing around a little bit, but there was something else I was gonna say. Oh. Wait till the end of this podcast, because what people do when I ask them to comment, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, comment if there's anything that you've seen people, etiquette or something you used to do that you don't do no more because you didn't realize you made mistakes, because we're not, like I said, we're not trying to bash people or yell at people, but we are going to point some things out. So some that are listening, maybe you never thought of before, just a word of advice. Okay. So, but comment down below, say if there's things that you've noticed that we didn't mention, but let us get through them, because usually what happens is people just hear me say that and comment right away, and then we repeat the same thing. Kind of want to hear your thoughts. So let's get started. All right. Number 1. And some of these are things, I'm sorry if I come across a little sarcastic, because I can be a sarcastic person sometimes, so it's hard. I don't mean it that way, but sometimes I do. But sometimes I don't. And number 1 is helping out with gas money. To me, the reason I could almost be sarcastic on that, because that sounds so ridiculous that you shouldn't even have to say that. But people don't do it. I don't. Now, to go backward, sometimes people forget, right? Like, I'm not going to say I've been perfect and I've never forgot. I know there's times like I've owed Thomas money, like maybe because what's nice now is we use Apple Pay or PayPal or Venmo, whatever. We use something. So we always do it right on the spot. But when it'd be like cash or something like that, I'd be a week. In fact, this is kind of funny because I got a ball ranch for you. I took
That
Thomas.
is random.
I bet you. I don't even want to know what you guys said about me about that. You had to have said something. Like,
Actually, we didn't.
Darian never said one word like, "Where's my ranch?"
No,
Because that is annoying to have to go buy ranch. When you
No.
just... Anyways, don't
She
forget it
didn't.
when you leave. Okay, got a nice bottle of ranch for you.
That's
I stole
hilarious.
from. I ordered pizza, and I can't eat pizza without ranch. So, anyways, so there's been times that I've forgot, like, oh, dude, I'm laying in bed at one night, and I remember a week later I forgot to give him money or something. Like, that's the kind of person I am. And I know not everybody's like a little bit weird about that kind of stuff, but in a way, you kind of need to be. When it comes to, I don't know, that's just how I was raised. It was put in me. Like, when your buddies go somewhere, like you're a teenager or whatever, and you go in your one buddy's truck, everybody just pitches in, right? You hand over a $5, $10, $20 bill, whatever. Here, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, But so that is a lot of training as a young person, that your parents, how they raised you, but that will get you kicked out of the truck really quick. I promise you. When you got a group of 3 or 4 buddies and Joe Blow over there is never pitching in for gas, and the way gas is and diesel is now, gas in the boat, gas in the truck, diesel, it ain't cheap, man. So,
But you'd be going anyway.
Is that why you're saying that? Because that's what people try to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So explain that then.
So
What's your? I know, and I've heard that.
yeah,
I think that's the mindset. Sometimes people don't say that to me.
I think
I think well, he was going anyways.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of angles, and I mean, some people might think it's kind of petty, but if it's repeated, if it's repeated, it's not.
Yeah.
So there's multiple ways about going about it, right? I mean, it's just about being fair. So like, a lot of times we used to not really give each other money.
You take turns.
We would just take turns.
Right.
Like, this time we go in my truck, next time we'll go in your truck, type of deal. When we go together. If you go by yourself, then that's on you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're gonna go together, we would split turns, and that works fine. I like that too. Whatever. But then, I think, yeah, if you're gonna go, and you're inviting other people to go, if they want to go, and if they never like offer to take their vehicles and stuff like that, I don't know if people just don't think about it, or I don't know what it is. But
well, here's another thought to cover for someone that'd be like, hey, they invited me, so there is that, right? If your buddy invites you and doesn't say, hey, can you pitch in for gas?
Yeah.
But then there's another line too. It's like, well, should I have to?
Well,
should I have to ask you?
To me, I'm not really talking about, hey, I'm asking some guy that's never been, and I'm like trying to get him into it or something. Like, hey,
you're talking about guys that are going with you.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not just with duck hunting, with anything.
Right.
It's kind of like, really, whatever. It's I
not the
usually
end of the
won't
world.
Say anything.
No, you
but
won't.
it's just kind of, I guess it's a pet peeve. Like, that would qualify as a pet peeve. Like,
yeah,
really, I don't know.
No, and again, we're not saying these are majors. Like, oh man, you're never allowed to go with me if you don't give me gas money.
Right.
But it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't thought about it before.
And a lot of times, so like I used to, so growing up, a lot of times when I would go with an older guy, I would have cash and offer, say, hey man, thanks, whatever, and probably 8 out of 10 times they're refusing the money.
Right.
But that's their choice, right?
Right.
Like, it's showing that you realize, like, hey man, I appreciate you, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm not that old. I'm only 29. But, I mean, as a younger guy now, or as a younger guy, if they were to do that to me, if they were riding with me, more than likely I would say, like, no, dude, it's all right. Or, whatever. Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't. It just, I guess, depends. But, like, that makes an older guy respect you as a younger guy. You know what I mean? And, or even if you're the same age, like let's say you're 16, 17, and your other buddy just got a truck, he got his license, I remember the age of getting vehicles and stuff like that. It's probably going to be, an old beat up truck, whatever, but it's like you just got your first vehicle, and those guys will like taking you because they know you'll chip in versus being the guy that's never, ever one time giving you gas money.
Right.
It's just, it's just I don't know.
Yeah. Just something to think about, ponder on.
Yeah.
Same thing with like hotel or staying somewhere, like people do Airbnbs, hotels, I don't know, campground. When you go take your boat, if you're taking a boat, you go in, they charge you. Some places charge you. Just anything like that.
Share the load, man.
Yeah, share the load.
And I mean, duck hunting is, it's difficult and it's hard and stuff, but even there's so many other things that when you have to depend on someone else, like the thing with duck hunting is you don't have to depend on someone really, really seriously for the most part.
Right.
Like if you're walking in, you're only maybe walking 1 to 2, max, I doubt even 3 miles. You know what I mean? And it's for the most part flat and all that kind of stuff. Like you can get help, but if you're with somebody like in the mountains and stuff, if they fall and break their ankle, you're in a real situation now. You know what I mean? So like, you don't honestly, someone like that, they're not an asset; they're a liability. You know what I mean? So if you're just going out to have fun, we're just like kind of not nonchalant, who cares? Then hey, that's one thing. But if you want to like be somebody who will actually share the load and work, and you know what I mean, like be an asset and get better in anything, not just duck hunting, in all hunting or sports or life, whatever. Like those people that that will make things easier for you, not harder on you. Those are the people that you always want to take.
Right.
And then there'll be people like, oh, you never take us, you never want to go, or blah, 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 blah. It's all this. It's because it's like, I'm going to have to work more for taking you. So what's my incentive? You know what I mean? Like maybe if it's an easy hunt, but if I know, hey, this is going to require some work and we're going to have to get there earlier and we're going to have to be strategic and we're going to this and this and that, stuff that takes a plan, those aren't the people you're going to want to be saying, hey, dude, you want to go next week?
Right.
This is what I'm doing type thing. No.
I don't want my job any harder than it's going to be.
But then they see like, oh, yeah, hey, he shot this or he shot that, whatever. And it's like, it's because I've been doing all this work over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You see the one part. You ain't seen all the work that went in behind it. Same thing, I was like blind, like working to brush a blind up, or if that's what you got to do, and those people aren't putting that effort in.
Exactly.
Loading the cart up and getting the dog out and just do, like my dad said, just do something.
Yeah.
If you don't know what to do and you've done everything, then ask what you need to do. But more than likely, you don't even need to ask.
Right.
In fact, I remember Benji always telling me that. Don't ask me, just do it. And I'm like, well, if you don't know what to do, how are you supposed to? But I mean, it's in some senses, just be busy, stay busy.
Yeah.
And definitely, you will be treasured. You will be asked above anybody else to be going with. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's true.
And it's for the most part common sense, right? But maybe some people don't think about it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what else you got?
The other one was. This is really a refuge. I say it's a refuge deal. I know a lot of people from SAC listen to this. I can see this statistics and everything, just that whole region and stuff. But one of the big things is if you're done, if you come in later, I know that's not what we want to do, but sometimes if you're...
Toolie Ninja?
Yeah. Well, not so much that, but like if you're coming in later, I know that's what none of us want to do. We want to be out there. We want to be in the water. We want to be set up at shoot time. But you know what? Let's be real here. If you're sweat line, there is times if you go far enough, because you're going in last, late already than everybody else, and you maybe got a 2-mile walk in, the sun is coming up and people are shooting. So I guess my thought was, if you are coming later, just be cognizant of people around you in other places. Like, not that you're going to, and I'm not talking about setting up by them. I'm just saying in general, don't stand around on the bank for 30 minutes talking, being loud, and messing up. That just be aware. Have a lot of self-awareness, situational awareness, and be like, you know what, like let's get a spot. Let's pick a spot. Let's get in there. Let's get set up. I don't want to affect other people. Just etiquette. Okay,
so I have a part to that because I was thinking about, a guy coming in when the sun's starting to come up. But I'm thinking, okay, I've never actually been in that situation. I've been in that situation when I've hunted an afternoon. And it's daylight, right? You can't see you can't know. Man, I can't talk right now. You can't see headlights anymore. You know what I mean? The only thing you really got is maybe someone calling, or if there are birds flying, somebody shooting, right? Or maybe you'll see a spinner sticking out of the ground or whatever. And this is all free roam that we're talking about. So, okay, if that's the situation there that I just said. If you're a hunter in the pond already, help the guy out and let him see you in some way. Walk out of the tulies,
wave,
maybe start talking loud, maybe do something, or calling's fine too. You know what I mean? Like, do something so not only does that guy make you mad and walk towards you without knowing he's walking towards you, and ruin your hunt, whatever, and all that, and waste his time too, right? He's looking for a spot to hunt. Now, if he's a good guy, he won't want to hunt by you. Some people do want to hunt by you, and that's a different conversation than what we're doing right now. But
no, that's a good point though. What you're bringing up about letting the guy know, because that's not etiquette either. Yeah, that's a totally reverse role. So what I'm talking about.
What else? What the other thing I was going to bring out that does go for in the morning when it is dark, and maybe Resi number 5 got his spot for whatever reason. He went free roam. That's kind of I doubt he'd go free roam. Let's say number 30 went free roam, right? And he set up an hour before shoot time, and here comes Mr. Sweatline, and to
no fault of his.
Yeah, to no fault
of his.
Resi. The Resi's already got his decoys out. He's already comfy. He's sipping his coffee, and he's got his headlights off, enjoying his time there. And here comes someone else walking in looking for a spot to hunt. Don't let the guy get in the pond and even close to you before you turn your lights on. Like, let him know. I mean,
or yell at him that he did that to you when you had no clue you were there.
Exactly. Or get upset or whatever. Let him know way in advance. And I would say 80% of people are good about that. But there's those couple guys, for whatever reason, they want to try to hide from you. Like you're not gonna go where they're at because they can't see you or something.
Right.
It's like, let them know you're right there. You know what I mean? Like, hey, stay away. I'm right here. You know what I mean? So that's something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good point, because that's totally flips the roles of what I was saying. It works both ways. The other thing is, and again, like I said, there's times in my life, as long as I have, that I've done those things, right? Like, not the guy coming in the pond, but to stand around looking for stuff. Like, just try to be discreet as best you can and get out there.
You're talking about scouting off the bank?
Well, yeah, look like you're coming late because you're a sweatliner and you're just trying to find somewhere to go, It's like, it's not your fault, but just try to make it quick as you can and get out there.
Right.
On the flip side of that, if you're done hunting, I've seen this a lot. Guys standing on the bank just chit-chatting. They shot their birds, they had a good morning, and that's great and everything. And trust me, the first thing we all want to do is talk about it, right? But like, you're affecting other guys by being loud. You're flaring birds off. You're standing on the bank while the other guy's out in the pond, and birds coming over and they're flaring off. And you're talking about how many lemons you shot that morning. It's like, just as tip, get your stuff, roll out, talk about it at the truck or at the restaurant afterwards, because that's a sure way to get people ticked off at you.
Yeah. Yeah, that nothing hacks me off more, especially in prime hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, hey, maybe it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and there ain't a bird in the sky. Okay, whatever. It's still not the best idea, but let's say it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and this guy's just laughing with another, couple guys on the bank. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're ruining everybody's hunt right now. That's what you're doing.
I mean, I've seen guys do that for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Super loud.
Like, dude.
Almost yelling sounding.
Yeah.
Just super loud.
Obnoxious. I can think of scenarios.
I've never done that.
No, that
I've done some of the other stuff, but no. That's ridiculous. The next one really gets me fired up too.
Get out of the parking lot?
Get out of the parking lot.
Yeah, that's the one I really wanted to bring in because of the people that I know listen to the California people. That one needs to be spoken up about. That's why I wrote it down, because that one fries me so much. And I feel like people do it on purpose because they have been in the same shoes. So the whole there's
two trains of thought.
It is, because it's like a chain reaction. What happens is guys get hosed because some jokers in the parking lot. So what happens if you're not from California, you'll be in the parking lot, you shot your birds, you're coming out, you hang out, and guys will hang out in the parking lot and start barbecuing, pull their easy chairs out, their camping chairs, sit down, chill out for like 30 minutes when you got dudes waiting to go in. And a lot of places, actually, good refuges will actually go get those people and tell them they got to get out. I've seen them do it a ton of times, and that's great. But, like, you don't want to be the guy to have to go to the check station, be a little tattletale. Those guys are sitting in the parking lot, man. Let us in. and then they got to go yell at them. But what happens is sometimes guys do it on purpose, I think, because it was done to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well,
It's like,
they took their time.
I got the resi. I can stay here however long I want. Type thing.
And that's not the case. You know, get out of the parking lot. Look, if you want to hang out, put your chairs out and start barbecuing. Well, no, don't do that. If you shot your limit, get out of there.
I understand
you know what
that,
I mean?
but I'm just saying, like...
No, I'm saying go to the check station, check your birds, and then go hang out in the parking lot then.
Yeah.
Let the other guys go. Like, use some etiquette. That's where etiquette's huge. Like, think about other people other than yourself. Mm-hmm. You know?
Well, I know, but I'm just saying you're not even hunting. Like...
Not
I don't
right.
know. I understand the thought of like, hey man, I drew a number 3 resi. Like I've been waiting for this for like a year, 2 years, whatever. I understand that. And if that's the way it is, then plan your hunt to last. Like, hey, don't shoot 3 hand shovelers. You know what I mean? Like, hey, wait for some good birds. That way maybe your hunt goes until 10 o'clock instead of like 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, if this is such a good thing, like maybe enjoy it a little bit, but that doesn't mean, that you gotta, hose the next guy because, hey, I got the resi and I can just stay here however long I want.
Are you talking about guys that will just stay out there just like in the blind just because? Because I know guys that will stay like where there's geese and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, I shot my, 2 of us shot our 14 ducks. We're gonna stay for our 20 geese, our snows each. And I'm like, that's their prerogative. I
don't really care about that because at least they're hunting.
Right. I don't have a problem with that either.
They're hunting. I mean, myself,
I don't either.
I don't care about geese, I guess, as much as ducks. Like I'll shoot geese for sure, but like I'm not a hardcore goose hunter. But hey, they're still hunting out there.
Right.
It's not like...
I don't care about that either. I was just saying.
I've seen guys literally, like you said, barbecue in the parking lot when there's 15 guys waiting to go into the refuge. And it's like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, dude, that just fries me. It just fries
on which
me.
Ones? Sorry, work was texting me.
No, I'm just saying... What you said, like guys just hanging out in the parking lot instead of checking out.
Yeah, it makes everybody mad though.
Yeah,
that's not just me and you getting like that. Yeah. Everybody gets ticked off.
Yeah, because
that's not right. Dude. You don't do that.
There's plenty of places to hang out. Like if I totally support barbecuing. Like I'm down for that. But like, dude, like when you got guys that have made a trip, drove out and they've been waiting since 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever. They just want to hunt. It's like, dude, don't be barbecuing in the parking lot. Like, that just kills me.
Yeah.
That kills
and
me, dude.
And the thing is, there's no way those guys don't know what they're doing. Like, that's intentional.
I hope not.
I think,
I hope not.
Dude, it's got to be intentional.
I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe guys haven't been there before. Honestly, for the most part, most people do come out right away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But there's just been
There's a big percentage, but I have seen some guys. I've seen some guys when we were coming out. It's like,
yes.
What do they do? Like, if I was the one waiting at the check station, I would be hacked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. Because you just see them totally just sitting on the tailgate and talking. Like, I don't know. Yeah. If there wasn't nobody waiting, it's one thing. But, like, there's always guys waiting. I don't know. But, yeah, it's true though.
Comment if you've seen people do that.
I guarantee you.
Comment, let's hear it.
A lot of these boys have. All right. Skybusting.
Pretty common.
Yeah. I mean,
people talk about it all the time, but hey, it's a real thing. Have I skybusted?
I think there's some levels of
Probably.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody has, dude. I'm sorry. Whether you've done it when you're a kid or you've done it as an adult and you're a new hunter or whatever it is.
Whether you've commented on social media saying that you never have.
Yeah, you're a liar.
Have. For sure.
But, whatever. Do you want to go down that rabbit trail?
No, it's not a rabbit trail.
Because I was thinking of some scenarios last year with these guys that the birds were all 100+ yards and they were just bang, bang, bang. Like, they never dropped a bird. They were so high, unbelievably high. Mm-hmm. Or do you want to say, well, some guys say skybusting's 50 yards. I mean, like, do we really want to hang out in this conversation?
No. I don't want to hang out here.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're shooting a full box of shells in an hour and you've maybe killed one bird, you're skybusting. You know,
Well, how do you know they're just not good shots though?
Because
It really could be the problem, dude.
a good indication is you're shooting too high.
Yeah, I mean I agree with you. I just know there is some guys that struggle with shooting ducks. You know.
No, it is true, but
it could be a very good possibility that that's what's causing that. No, I agree with you. I'm just trying to rule all. I'm being the devil's advocate. I'm just trying to rule all different angles out.
Right.
Because people will do that, right? Well, this and that. I'm new. I don't know how to shoot.
I mean, you can miss ducks at all different.
We've
yards.
done it.
At 10 yards. I've missed a bird. You know, but I'm just saying, like,
the odds are definitely stacked against you in that scenario.
If you're skybusting, like, I think there is levels to it, but then there's a lot of times where I've watched guys. It's almost like you watch them and it's like they want to prevent the birds from getting too close to them. It's like if you just wait, the bird will be half the distance that you're shooting it at. Like why not just wait?
And
I know people always, oh, you guys pass shoot, oh, blah 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 blah, all this stuff. Yeah, I pass shoot. I will pass shoot all day long. I don't care. I'd rather decoy them, and we decoy hundreds of birds every year, and but that's not skybusting. A pass shot is not a skybust. It's not even remotely the same thing.
No.
It's not even close.
No, and I don't know how many are thinking that is or saying it is, but no, that's not the same bracket at all. They're just trying to say you're not getting them in the decoys. I mean,
honestly, I don't like shooting them past 40. Myself.
Dude, I won't. Yeah. I don't. Okay, we've talked about this. And I love these kind of conversations about distances and stuff because you know how we've said, oh, that was probably 40.
Yeah.
And then we go put the paper up there for pattern testing, and you're like, my Lord, there ain't no way I'm shooting no ducks that far.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking maybe it's 45,
yeah,
it ain't no, their way it's over 40.
Uh-huh.
There's no way. I will not raise my gun. Like, that's just, I'm not going to do it. And I don't know. But, yeah.
I feel like 90% of the birds I shot last year were like 30 yards or closer.
And that's what cracks me up is why it matters to guys if they're going left or right or if they're coming face at you, feet down. Like, what does it matter? The feeling of them landing. Dude, how close was that pintail?
Which one?
The one I shot point blank in our decoys. Like multiple birds that day. At 12 steps.
5 yards or something. Yeah.
12 steps is 10 yards for a guy.
That's too close.
It is. I mean,
it's too close.
I almost felt bad for that poor bird, you know, but I mean, it's cool though. It's sick.
I forgot about that until you
Wasn't
just
that awesome?
me.
That was a day we didn't video. We didn't video that day, but me and you out there and shot our 2 limits. Dude, in like 2 hours.
We had a big spread that day.
Later in the day.
Yeah.
We didn't have a big spread.
We had a lot of motion.
We had a lot of motion, but I liked how you did the decoys. I mean, you did it for the most part. I put a couple in a corner, but like you were like 2. But here's the thing. January, I think it was January, late season, birds are paired up. So we're not putting them in big mass wads. It was like you put like 2 over here. You put 2 over there. And you left the little pockets here. You know, there was a motion or pulsator over here, pulsator over there. Dude, it was like the perfect thing. And then it was awesome. You shot your limit fast. You got done first. I was shooting good at first, and I don't know, the last 2 birds I struggled with.
I got to go back and see if I got pictures of it.
We do. I showed you the other day, and you're like, what hunt was that? Remember? The Eurasian?
Oh.
That was that one.
For some reason, I was thinking that was on the vet hunt. Oh.
You just had to make me say it just to remind you, huh? I'm not.
Have you even mentioned that?
I think me and Travis had a podcast where we talked about where I was crying because he was crying about the
Oh, I know. I didn't have a. Oh, I shot a banded gadwall this year. That was pretty cool.
That is cool because it's a gadwall and you never see those banded to me.
At least where we're at. So.
And it was a goldish colored.
It
wasn't it kind of?
It was average. It was an average gadwall. But
no. The band wasn't it kind of gold looking?
No.
Am I thinking of something else?
Probably. Your gadwall head was gold.
Yeah.
That was crazy too.
I should have had that head fluffed up. That's crazy though. That black ring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like we finished that though because what was I gonna? I was gonna say something about that. Well, anyways,
About
whatever.
skybusting?
Well, someone will take our words and post it on
Yeah.
refuge forums or something.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's funny because I don't look at those. I just never ever do. There's nothing, no point of it. But stinking Matt, you gotta stop sending me screenshots of people talking about us. Just don't do that. Someone's quote unquote. What did I say? You can't pass. Let's see.
You can't shoot decoying birds in California or something like
Yeah,
that. That's
Or-
crazy because we do it every year.
decoying birds.
Yeah.
Well, but part of that was true. I was gonna say the refuge forums is like the propaganda media that we live and deal with right now because they chopped half of my words I said out and only said the part to make it look bad and then never said the rest of what I said. And what I
Hashtag
said,
fake news.
literally, refuge forums hashtag fake news. Fake you, Fauci, refuge forums. Ugh. And I love it because a lot of those guys listen to this for whatever reason. If you don't like us, I don't know why you listen, but whatever. But Matt, you got to stop sending me that stuff. I could care less. I don't want to hear it and see it. But just to add, since I do know now, and Matt sent it to me, I was going to say the other part of what I said was, actually, I got to look that up because now I want to know. I sent that to you or I just told you?
You just told me.
I think Matt sent me a screenshot of it. I don't know why he does that. I don't know if he just tries to see my reaction or what. Oh, right here. To shoot birds on a California refuge, you have to pass shoot. Quote unquote, Titus. If you are an influencer, you shouldn't say stupid stuff like this. What they didn't add to the rest of what I said is, I said, we've killed decoying birds, but there is times those birds are, when it's World War III, you guys got 100 guys. What I was saying at the end, it was like, there's guys 100 yards this way, 100 yards this way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're going to shoot a decoying bird?
Well,
I think I kind of get what he's saying. In other words, but I don't agree with it because I'm not going to give anybody false hope and say because I'm an influencer, and I am, because I'm influencing people. 100% agree with the guy. And if you take it how he's saying, it would be stupid, but it's not stupid because I'm not going to give anybody a false hope and say you shouldn't shoot a bird in California unless they're decoying.
unless it's feet down.
Because you're not going to shoot one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
I'm not saying
to clarify that up, we're always looking for the place and the time
away from
to
everybody.
only shoot feet down birds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when the green wings are thick down here, lots of people are banging away at green wings, and it is hard to get big birds to commit when there's never a break in the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, disagree with me. I would love to hear your opinion. Like, it's hard unless you're a long ways away from anybody. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Those clubs are miles away, and you can still hear them shooting,
right?
And it still flares birds,
right?
They're
Birds
2-3
birds
miles
don't
away.
like it, right? I mean, anybody should agree with that,
right?
So, like I said, we're always looking for the time and place where there's less pressure, there's less activity as far as shooting. You know what I mean? I mean, slower times with shooting, maybe less hunters there, maybe more like a more inaccessible location. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
dude, like you said,
that's so far out of context.
That's what I'm saying. That's totally used to what's that, gaslighting or something, like to create a look of the person instead of telling the whole story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, it doesn't really matter. But I want to give the guy props, whoever this was, is that like points of what you're saying is right, but it's not whole truth. So if it's 99% truth and 1%'s a lie, it's all a lie, right? Because you're not giving the whole details. And I'm not upset about it at all. If anything, I would want to add to that to make sure, if there is any confusion there. I'm not saying you can't. I know what I said, so I ain't worried about it. But anyways, no, you brought up some really valid, good points about my goal, your goal has always been get away from everybody and get some opportunities that you can only dream of, right? Always. I think it's most duck hunters.
Mm-hmm.
The boat. Look what the boat has done. It gets you away. If you want to get away from people, go with the boat. Some people, I swear, really like hunting by people. I really believe they do.
Right.
How many guys have we walked out of the pond and found out they had no decoys? They were 100 yards by us, and they were getting past, our swing birds.
Shooting swing birds. That's another thing.
That's nuts. That's mind-boggling.
So most of those guys are the guys that come in like,
yes.
Like if a guy's sneaking in like that, typically he's the guy that's doing that, shooting the swing birds. But yeah. Anyways, on to the next.
No, that was a good conversation, though. Very good.
I don't think we were super clear on the skybusting, but I think if you search your heart of hearts, you know what skybusting is.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we need, dude.
Just don't do it.
We can't be clear. You can't say, 70 yards is.
Yeah, right.
Or 50 yards is. You can't do that.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know when it's a... Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
You
like
know.
like you said, in the heart of your hearts.
You know, and if you don't know, and it's your first time going out there, and after you take 10 shots and nothing ever happens, then you should have learned by then.
Let me add this. If you're questioning it, you shouldn't shoot it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't shoot at it. Honestly, you're not gonna have no doubts in your mind if you should be shooting when they're close.
Yeah.
Trust me.
For sure. Next one, I put on there excessive calling, like just never shutting up with no results. So like we're always talking about, assessing the situation, assessing what's going on. Like if you're starting out the day with a lot of calling and it's working out great, continue to call a lot. If it's not working out, quit calling. See what that does. Maybe if that don't work either, maybe try just a light call. Whatever. Try stuff different until something works. If it's not working and you're just out there heaving because you just won't shut up on your call, and you never took time to practice, and you sound nothing like a duck, then you probably shouldn't be calling.
Right. Right. Sorry. Work keeps calling me.
No, it's all good.
No, but stay on that for a second because, you pretty much nailed it down. But
I've seen guys hunt a pond that I knew birds wanted to be in, and they were set up in the pond, and they
were flaring birds.
They were flaring birds out of there because they were calling. Yeah,
it might have been their hide too. They might not have been hidden
I know.
well, but for the most part, it probably is. I shot some birds. There's one of the videos I'm in. It's the thumbnail's me with Rocky and like 5 widgeon and a shoveler, I think, or something. But I put it in the notes too. I shot those birds because those guys were over calling. They were calling crazy the whole time. They were literally filling. Birds wanted to go to them, like you just said.
Right.
And they left. I would watch them swing. Like they wouldn't shoot. The guys never even shot at them. They'd be do. They'd come up, swing around, and swirl down to me, and I would shoot them. And it was like, I guess
you weren't calling.
I didn't call at all.
Right.
I was at first, but the birds weren't coming to me. Well, then I seen what they were doing to them. And that's what I mean. Always observing. Always have situational awareness. Well, it didn't work for them. Boom. I cut it off, and those birds were coming right into me. So, and it's funny because duck hunters have this stigma that they have to call. You're not a real duck hunter. You didn't do anything if you didn't get this duck in. Look I've said this a bunch lately. If the batteries are dead in the clock, it's still right twice a day. If my wife tells me, you're going to get in a wreck, you're going to get in a wreck, you're going to get in a wreck because of the way you drive. She says that for 30 years, guaranteed at some point, I probably am. Because you're not going to be wrong if you stick to your guns, right? Like it didn't make it happen, but the odds of a wreck over 30 years' time is a good chance, right? So what my point is, guys that blow every single hunt, all year long.
At some point, they're going to shoot a duck.
They're going to shoot a duck, and the duck is going to come in, and they're going to think it's my calling.
I called him in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what we're saying, Thomas and I are saying, just be observant of what works and doesn't work. Yeah. Try. If they're not coming into you when you're calling, lay it off, cut it off. And guys will say in a lot of our videos, it's quiet because we know when it's not working. It's like, this ain't working. You guys ever blow a duck call? Do you ever call? and I hate referencing to YouTube a lot. I know that's probably gets a little annoying to you guys, but it's just gives us good topics. Really, YouTube actually gives us great thoughts and stuff to learn from, because it's like, okay, I see, this is the mindset of people. Like, you gotta be on the call or you can't shoot ducks, and that's not true. It's not true. Same thing. Let's move on to something else. Elk hunting. You're about to go elk hunting. There is times, I don't know what kind of bulls you're gonna see. They might be average, they might be big, they might be small satellite bulls. But if I'm elk hunting and I see a satellite bull and he's 4-point stag, and you know what, it's the last day and you want to shoot him, do you think you're going to be letting out this crazy scream that sounds like a 7-year-old bull that's massive? You're not going to do that, because it's going to scare him off. You're going to get the feel of the scenario. Like everything you do, that's what you do, right? Like, you're always situational awareness, fill things out, change tactics. So yeah, overcalling. The guys that do it, because I've done it, 100%. And it's sometimes you figure it out, like now, hunting longer, we figure it out quicker, right? Back in the day, it may took you 4 hours. I'll tell you something, it's a good reference. When we were in Washington, me, you, and Harrison, it took us almost all day to figure out, wait a minute, we have to call all the way until we shoot them, or they are not coming close enough. And for some reason, Harrison dialed that in, and literally 10 yards, we were blowing as hard as we could in their face. They were still coming. Yeah. So sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that threw us off, because we're used to, like, if it ain't working, you go to no calling. But that was something that had to be excessive.
Yep, exactly. Next one I got is dispatching wounded birds timely.
Yeah, well. Can I throw myself under the bus real quick on that one?
Yeah.
So a guy, he wasn't being rude at all. In fact, I commented to him, "You're exactly right," and he commented back, "Thank you. I knew that's probably not how you are." So in the vet hunt, episode 17, a couple times. In fact, I was like, "Why did I do that?" Because I always pay attention to that. I don't know. It has nothing to do with the camera, because the guy's like, "You walked all the way across the pond." He didn't say nothing bad. He was right. And I think it was one of the cinnamons or the pintail that was still alive slightly. I mean, they were dying, and we're shooting with bismuth. I don't care if their head's a little stiff. They're going out. And to me, they're going to die quicker than they would stuff in the finisher in the back of their head. But the bird was kind of alive, and he was just like, that kind of goes against the ethics of, like, dispatching birds properly, So, now, that being said, I'm not trying to cover my tracks, but in a way, it really wasn't probably as long as it appeared. Birds are still flinching, still moving, But there's been times I look at my older videos. I'm like, man, I was kind of mad at myself for, like, talking to the camera instead of worrying about dispatching that bird, because that's not etiquette. That's not a good look. It's not good to do.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really, we're hunting, but nobody likes animal cruelty, you know what I mean? Like, that's another reason why I like shooting, heavier stuffs, because, I mean, they're out like a light. I used to shoot Super X, and I mean, I used to put 3 shells in a bird, and sometimes they'd still be alive. It's like, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
this it helps with that, I'd say 9 times out of 10, when you do hit the bird, it's like, it's over. It's already done. Like, I probably picked up, less than 10 alive birds this year.
I know.
It's just, and so anyways, that's something, just a good thing. Last one I got was, and I know we kind of bounced around as far as, like, topics, I think, but hunting a spot somebody took you without them. So basically, somebody took you to a good spot, and you guys had a good hunt and all that, and then the next day or the next week you're out there without them, didn't tell them, type of deal. And I don't know. That's just that's like hunting.
That's wrong.
That's hunting 101. I don't care what kind of hunting it is. It's just kind of
no. That's wrong.
That ain't right. I think most people understand that. But if you don't know that, if that's the only spot you've ever been to and that's the only place you've ever been duck hunting and you want to go back because you had an awesome time, that's great that you want to go duck hunting again. But if you're going to go back and not tell the guy that took you there or brought you whatever, like that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Or
just knowing about it. You know what I mean? You just know, that's where they're going. That's, I can see that, and I'm going to go figure. It's like, well, okay, that's fine. It is public land. So there's that fine line, like, yeah, it is public land. It's all of ours, right? Like, we can do that. But if you don't want to put the effort in to find your own stuff, and you, like you said, on the flip side, because you said if you go with somebody, but at the same time, if you're just kind of weaseling knowing where someone's going, that's not cool either. Like, that's not really etiquette, because how long did it take that person to find that? How many bad hunts did they have to get to that point? How many times did they have to scout and empty-handed hunts? Because we know good and well, traveling enough all over the place, dude, more likely you're going to a new area, you're having a lot of empty bags.
Yeah.
And
it's a scouting trip.
It's a scout. It is.
You're hunting, but you're pretty much scouting.
And we're still doing that.
Yeah.
That's why when we go to new refuges or go to new places, I don't call where Joe Blow is going and ask him where. I'm never going to do that. And most people don't. But I'm also not going to be buddies or friends or other people and just like sniping stuff. Like, that's not cool at all. Because there's so many places. If we end up in the same pond, oh, well, so be it. I mean, you have every right to be there too. But like, knowing that just changes things a little bit. Like, when you know what you're doing and you're still doing it, that changes it. Because are you saying if I found it and you knew I found it, that your time's more precious than mine? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's just not etiquette. It's not a good look. No one respects that. And guess what? You're not going to be asked to go either with those people. You're not going to be invited. Just like we talked about the money, we talked about the hotels, we talked about brushing the blinds, we talked about if you're going with the guy that skybusts all the time, you're not going to go with that guy again. You're not going to. You wonder why. No, why does no one want to go with me? Why does no one want to take me? Well, think about all these things that we've talked about. And like we've said, we've done a lot of these things, okay? You think about this whole list of things. Does that sound like someone you want to hunt with? It ain't. And that I just did use ain't. It ain't. And I don't want to be associated with that either. Like, I don't want to be with the guys that are doing that because it makes you're guilty by association. And so just these things, some may seem piddly, like you said, to some are very, very important. Some of these I've done, Tom's done, we've all done as duck hunters. And a lot of this applies to anything. Deer hunting, bow hunting, fishing, anything. Yeah. It's just common sense. So,
but for the guy that maybe this is their first year or whatever, like, heads up. You know what I mean? Like, the guys that have been hunting for 5, 10, 40 years, whatever, this stuff really matters to them, and if you're going out there for the first year and you're doing all this stuff, there's going to be,
and it matters to us. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
But we want to do things with the right attitude, right? Like, when we're saying things, there's been times I did things in the wrong way, and I'm sure I'll do it again. But, yeah, it could happen this year too. Like, it's like you're gonna have to have a face-to-face confrontation with somebody if it takes that. But as someone said, an influencer, we want to look at both sides of the picture here and understand where some people are coming from, right? Like, we just don't want to paint with a broad brush and throw everybody in that deal. We want to be able to analyze it, look at it, and say, you know what, maybe that's why you did this. I don't know. But let's think about this. Let's analyze this, Is this the right thing to do? Is this the right way to do it? So I think that was really one of our best etiquette episodes. I don't know if we've dedicated the whole one to it and just brought it in and out, but comment below if you watch on YouTube, subscribe to that channel.
What are some of the things that we missed?
Yeah. There's plenty, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's I'm sure a ton.
Scenarios,
these
just
are-
certain little.
These are just a couple things we thought of like on the way home from work today. So, yeah.
You actually brought. I mean, to me, you brought a couple, and I never actually like it would irk me out there, but I never thought of it to have a conversation about guys coming in the pond, their point of view, the other point of view. Oh, we're almost defended both sides, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because a lot of these, maybe there's two sides to a lot of this stuff, So we tried to look at it from both sides and be fair to both people. Sometimes there's really no excuse for some of these things, but a lot of these, maybe there was a reason. I don't know. But anyways, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
I think this is a good one, guys. Well, duck season's getting closer and closer. Good luck, Thomas, on the old hunt. Still a couple weeks out, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it's like 23, 24 days or something like that out.
You got your bow dialed?
So I'm excited. I did, and I think one of my kids, I think, bumped it or something in the back. I had it in the back seat of my truck, and they're getting in, and I think they bumped it or something because for whatever reason, my 20, 30, 40 is like a little off now. So I just need to get my
Maybe just move the house.
My Tookus in gear, but it's been so stinking hot here. Haven't been extremely motivated to shoot. So, but it's getting down to the wire now. Like the only thing I got to do now, I got to buy some broadhead this Saturday. I'm gonna go get some broadheads and I'm gonna go get some boots, and that's the last thing I got to dial in, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I've been scouting a lot, and we got our spots picked out that we're going to start, and we're going to live out of our backpacks for probably 3 days or so, try to get out there, get with them and find them, and hopefully stay with them, and if not, we'll come back, relocate, try it again.
Sweet. Oh, good luck, man.
So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough physically.
Be worth it though if you score.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening on this one, and we'll see you on the next one.